This is not about a blow dryer, and if you thought it was, well, buckle up, Buttercup, because these conversations are hotter than that flat iron you're still wondering if you left on. I'm Kat, a hairstylist, educator, and one of the beauty industry's beautifully defiant misfits. This podcast isn't about viral hair trends, client bashing, or the latest formula for whatever shade of brown we're renaming this season. It's about the stories, the lessons, and the trial and error moments that shape careers, confidence, and the craft. So whether you're starting your journey in Cosmo School, thriving behind the chair, still finding your rhythm, or just looking for that push to get back on track, welcome to This Is Not About a Blow Dryer, where we talk beauty in a whole new way. Journey of a Cosmo student. Don't bleed, just pass. Welcome back. I'm Kat. And when you're creeping up on those 1,800 hours in beauty school, there's one big thing on your mind: state boards. This is when the fun foiling and cutting slow down and the drills for clean combs, safe draping, proper hot tool use, and the holy grail, blood spill procedure takes center stage. State boards aren't judging your ability to give the perfect bob or balayage. They're checking, can this person keep clients safe in a clean and disinfected environment? I can still hear my rockabilly instructor's voice echoing through the classrooms as I prepped for this dreaded test. Take it slow, don't cut yourself. Even if you think you cut yourself, start the blood spill procedure. I repeat, start the blood spill procedure. I swear I was hearing that in my sleep, in my dreams leading up to all of it, and she meant it. Improper blood spill could cost you the whole exam, and she did not let you forget it. Every time we did a practice drill, she'd stalk the rows with a clipboard and a stopwatch, face blank as a wall, calling out the next task, while we tried to keep our hands from shaking and honestly not passing out. She'd then circle back, break down what we botched, and then we would do it all over again. Now, as much as I'll openly admit I slacked off quite a bit in beauty school, I knew two things about myself. One, I am not a great tester. And two, I do not love people in my personal space. Yes, that sounds ironic, being that I work behind the chair up close and personal in other people's space, but it feels like a different animal for some reason. Nonetheless, I made a point to not skip a single practice run. Fast forward to test day. Just picture it. A car full, terrified. 3 whole hours to be terrified on the car ride, because that's where the nearest site was, and a 5-hour practical exam ahead of us. We looked like we were moving into the testing center, honestly, as we walked in. We had doll heads, we had Tupperware, towels folded with military precision, tools wrapped like surgical kits. You know the drill. It hasn't really changed a whole lot. First step, the setup. Safe, sanitized, clean station. Then, of course, if I remember correctly, it was the dreaded Marcel curl, right? It had to be on base, comb between the iron and the scalp so you didn't fry your doll or yourself in theory. Now, as these little old women walked around with their clipboards, basically breathing down your neck, not saying a single word, I still thought I was crushing it. And then we hit the 90-degree haircut. I sprayed down my doll head, I elevated the hair, and chop, straight into my middle knuckle. If you're a hairstylist, you know that feeling. You feel it before you see it. Luckily, your girl did not skip any of her prep, so I was ready. I calmly pulled out what I needed for my kit. I notified the proctor. I talked her through the steps as I went. Now, was I shitting myself internally? Absolutely, I was. Yep. And I know I had no sweats. I knew that I was terrified, but I went through the things that I thought I remembered, and my rockabilly instructor's notes kept going through my head nonstop. She sat there, took notes, no expression. She asked me if I was done. I signaled yes. Then she pretty much let me get back to my cutting, and I was sure in that moment I had failed. Needless to say, after 5 grueling hours, we packed up and had what we called our victory smoke in the parking lot. Nerves still buzzing. Yes, I used to smoke, as most young hairdressers do, or even some hairdressers do. We tried to eat, but really none of us were going to be able to swallow anything because we were too busy thinking we were going to have to swallow our pride, if we didn't get the answer that we wanted. But an hour later, we lined up for the results. I found myself finding the back of the line really just kind of sick with nerves and watching my classmates get their papers and get their notes of pass, pass, pass. By the time it was my turn, I had failed like 8 times over watching them all pass because I was convinced that I was the only one that was not going to. Luckily, it was my favorite time to ever be wrong because I looked at that paper and I passed. Now, that was only a small victory because don't forget, there's a written exam also. And if I suck at tests in person, oof, a written exam, not my forte. I wish I could say I just jumped straight into it, but nope. I dragged my feet for probably about 3 months, which was the classic bad test taking avoidance. Finally, my mom was like, I'm buying this test for you. Take it now. Time passes and you'll never get it back, so shoot your shot. She would love to hear me say that she's right on recording, so maybe she'll listen to this one day. Yes, Mom, you were right. I passed my first shot and I knew that Emerald City was getting closer and closer. So here's the deal. To anyone in beauty school right now, do not skip that prep. Those boring, repetitive habits, safe setup, clean combs, blood spill drills, they're not just about passing the exam, but they're about building that foundation for a safe and professional career. The habits you build in that state board grind will serve you long after the dolly heads are gone. They're part of what let you show up as a pro behind the chair every single day. It's really easy to let yourself think this isn't about my hair cutting skills. Exactly. And this is not about a blow dryer. It's about showing you how you can keep people safe and rise to the standards of the craft. So slow down, show up, don't bleed, practice until it's second nature, and the sooner you embrace those details, the sooner the real work, the creative work, can really shine. So have you taken your state board yet? Or do you have any state boards horror stories? What are you waiting for? Jump in the chat, send me a DM. I want to hear them. Maybe it's time we start sharing your story. But this will have to be it for now, and I will see you next time when we have another conversation that's not about a blow dryer.